One thing is for sure, two things for certain. 'Tis the season for overspending. Darn you, Santa! Let's not kid ourselves. There'll be spending. But how do we keep from overspending? How do we set guardrails in place so we can freely spend within the guardrail and not regret our decisions come January? Of course, I'm going to save the best for last because we're civilized. What are you trying to prove? Of course, it all starts with the mind, the mindset. So this next 2 months, if you can keep this in mind, unless you're my husband, expensive does not necessarily mean value. You know, the gift you're buying, the event, the experience, the outing, the amount does not necessarily equate to the value of the relationship. Sometimes it truly is the thought that counts, the thought of what you were doing, the thought of giving, the fact that you actually thought of giving, thought of spending time together. That is the whole sentiment, the whole point of the season, right? So it's not really about the amount, the expense, how expensive it is, but more so the fact that you thought to do so, you thought to give, you thought to have time together. If you keep that in mind this next 2 months, that really will help you stay within the guardrail. One of my favorites, open an account for holiday spending. It's so easy to open an account now. You don't have to stop by the bank. You don't even have to call. Just log into your bank account like you usually do, and you can open a second account just for holiday spending. This is a great way to stay within the guardrail because you can funnel however amount of money you want to spend for the holiday season into that account. For the month of November, when you get your paycheck, you can take however amount you need and put in there. You may have to put a little bit from savings as a buffer. So maybe put 200, 500 just to keep a buffer. And you want to make sure it's a free checking account. I mean, you don't want to pay a fee for this. It should be one of those banks with free checking accounts. You open that up, put the amount of money you want to spend for the month of November or for November and December for the holidays, and then do all your holiday spending from that account. The gifts you're buying, the outings you're doing for the holiday, it all comes strictly from that account. So the account would have debit card. I know I don't like the idea of using debit cards, but for just 2 months, I get it. You can. You could also just use your credit card and pay the credit card from that account. The only problem with that is if this is the same credit card you use for everything else, it may be hard to, figure out, all right, is this for holiday or is this for non-holiday? But handle your own life issues, figure out a way to make it work. If you don't want to use debit card, you could just set out one credit card for holiday spending, and that way every spending is on this card and you pay it from that account. To me, this is much better than using cash. I would never advise you to use cash over the holidays because tis the season of losing money, right? So, and it's not it's hard to track your expenditures, and tis the season of returns. It's a lot harder with cash because now you have to hold on to your receipt. But with this, it's all in there. You don't have to worry about tracking because it's all in there. You don't have to do the math. It's everything on this account is holiday related. And so that comes in very handy. But if you don't want to open an account, you could also use, if you have Apple Cash or Apple Pay. Apple Cash is like a prepaid system, so you could funnel however amount of money you want to use for the holiday in there. Now, I don't know what happens if you don't use all that money. I don't do Apple. I don't know. It's just an idea. Now, with the account after the holidays, you can leave it open and use that account for another thing you want to save for, or you leave it open for next year's holiday. So every month you put some money in there that you would use towards the next Christmas or towards a birthday, or that could be your birthday account, whatever you want to use the account. You can actually do this with any prepaid cards, but make sure they have zero fees and no fees for usage for whenever you use the card. Every Friday morning, take a look at your account balance and your credit card balance. This is a great way, the best way to stay within the guardrails. Even if you don't have a dedicated account for holiday spending, these are 10 ways to keep you within the guardrail. There are 10 options. You don't have to do every single one of them, but this will really help you stay focused and not blow your budget just because Jesus was born, right? Love the Lord. But he too wants you to be responsible, right? Okay, so every Friday, take a look at every account you're using, your checking account, your savings. You may not have to take a look at the savings, but if you've been dipping in there, take a look at what the balance is looking like. Take a look at what your credit card account balance is looking like. And you can do this within 2 minutes when you're work, when you're on break from work. oh, log into your accounts, take a good look at your balances. The reason why this has to be on a Friday other than a Tuesday, Wednesday is because Friday is the beginning of the overspending for most of us. Even if you work over the weekends, Fridays, that Friday air, that Friday vibe, that relaxed vibe, your ability to make good decisions go downhill. It's a lot lower on Fridays compared to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Mondays, right? During the holidays, it's even worse. Everyone is out and about. So it puts you into that mood. You're more likely to overspend. So if you've looked at your balance in the morning, it's like taking a good antidote to all that emotional triggers and spending triggers that is about to happen. You've got to know the times. This next 2 months, even if you're not buying a single person a gift, you're most likely going to have higher expenses just because over this next 2 months, holiday season, there's going to be a lot more get togethers, right? And even if it's not a get together, the music is playing, the lights are on, you're going to want that Christmas drinks and minted drinks and peppermint drinks, all that stuff. Tis the season of higher expenses. So this next 2 months will not be the time for all those extra luxuries. If you usually go out to eat at work, you order lunch and at work. Over the next 2 months, let's pause that and save that money for when we get together with friends, when we go out to eat with friends, or when work has potluck or they have a special thing and we're all ordering from a specific restaurant to have Christmas lunch together. Save it for then. Or you usually order food in, I don't feel like eating what's in the house, so let's DoorDash. No, save that money for when you having whatever Christmassy thing or holiday thing with your children. Maybe you're putting up Christmas tree or Christmas lights and you want to be in that Christmas vibe. Well, then do the door dashing then. Don't do door dashing on a random Tuesday because I'm too tired to cook. Eat ramen, right? Cut off all the luxuries so you're not really cutting it off. You're really just saving that money to use towards the holiday stuff that we do or have to do. We're saving the expenses we would usually use for, let me try this makeup or let me try this lip gloss or let me try this restaurant. All that we're going to just save it for when we actually have to do the holiday things. This way, you don't have additional expenses because this is money you naturally already spend here, you're spending there. Nothing blows up the budget like feeling overwhelmed. Nothing blows up that guardrail like being overwhelmed. So start early. Okay. Do not overestimate how much time you have between November 1st and December 21st. It goes super fast. So start early. Okay. Take a look at your calendar. Whatever it is you have going on from November 1st that week, what can we get done this week? What do we need to order? Start early because before you know it, tomorrow is Christmas party, your daughter's Christmas class Christmas party. Now you gotta go find gift for the teacher, and it's tomorrow, and you're at the store having to just buy whatever and spend more because you have less than 2 days to Amazon something cheaper, right? Or tomorrow is the office party or the office ugly sweater party, and now here you are at Walmart trying to spend how much on an ugly sweater that you don't even like. When if you had started early, you could have gotten yourself that $2 sweater or $5 sweater from dollar store and just pinned a couple of things on it to make it look ugly, right? You don't want to get overwhelmed because when you're overwhelmed, then your ability to make good decisions is out the door because you just like I just need to get this done by tomorrow morning. I just need to. We're meeting up at this person's house. I can't show up empty-handed. I just need to get it done, and then you blame it on the season. You know what? It's the holidays. No, it's not the holidays. It's just you didn't start early. Start early. Do what you can immediately. Don't save it for then. Learn from me, okay? Because if there's one wisdom I can give you, it's sweet kernel corn will abound. But creamy corn, get to the store 2 days before Thanksgiving. Heck, stock the truck that brings stuff in, and there still wouldn't be creamy corn. And now what is Thanksgiving without corn pudding? Huh? Speaking of money spent, tis the season of togetherness. The more you go at it with a group or together, the cheaper. Not even the better. For you, it's about the cheaper. Not cheap, but cheaper. For instance, your boss, if you work in a smaller office and you have to do Christmas gifts, go at it together, because then it's a lot cheaper to put in $20 each than for you guys to individually try to buy a gift. That's a lot of pressure. Now you got to worry about the price. Remember, number one, right? So it's a lot easier if you chip together. Same with Thanksgiving meal. If you're having Thanksgiving together, is, hey, you bring this, you bring in this, and then I make this, rather than, you all come to my house and I'll show you, my culinary skills. Culinary skills cost money. You want to, whenever you can do together. Coaches is a great way to go. Let the whole team together buy a gift, then individually buying a gift. Whenever you can do together rather than individual, it's a lot easier on your budget, because it's not just one boss. You have the coach, then the boss, and then I don't know, the parents. It's also for parents. This is a good way if you get along with your siblings. If you guys come together, put money together, and buy one gift, it's a lot cheaper and a lot more impressive than each kid is trying to buy something impressive. It's a great one. It's the holiday season regardless of what you do. So therefore, you don't have to do everything or a lot for it to be the holiday season. It's already the holiday season. So with that in mind, you don't have to honor every invitation you get. Therefore, you will not get the opportunity to spend as much as you could possibly spend, right? One elephant, $25. Another elephant, one elephant, one white elephant, $25. Another white elephant, $10. Another thing, however price limit you guys put. But then it all adds up. You're going to this, going to that, going to that. And that can really blow the budget, right? That account is empty because you spent it in outings and you still have gifts to buy. So for the holiday season, keep that in mind. You can choose you and just do a few things, and it will still be the holidays. As a mom, as a parent, I feel the pressure, because as parents, we're the ones who create that holiday, vibe. And because of that, we could end up committing to a lot. Now I want to take the kids to this, and then to that, and then to that, and then we're going to do this at home, and then we're going to do that, because I'm trying to make sure we have the holiday spirit. But that means there's a lot of spending to be done. Even those free community events. I think it's funny when they have this free community events and you get there and everything is vendors, right? The only thing free is you coming in. But now to have fun, money has to be spent. So technically it's not free. So even as parents, that pressure to create the holiday spirit, remember, it's the holiday regardless. So you don't have to do most of it, just do a few. And that's fine. It will still be the holidays, right? There's another video coming up on how to save money with gifts and all these holiday outings. And that's coming up, I think, 2 videos from now. So if you haven't subscribed, this is a good time to subscribe so you can watch that video. A great guardrail, fortified guardrail, is a list. You are making a list for everything over this next 2 months. Even if you're not a list person, you will become a list person, because this is a great way to keep yourself within the guardrail. You need a list for everything, a list for all those you're buying gifts for this season. Even if you don't know what you're getting them, if you know what you're getting them or how much you'd like to spend for each person, great. You can put that down on the list. But even if you don't know, you are making a list for every single person you're buying a gift for. Thanksgiving, you're making a list for your Thanksgiving plan or your Thanksgiving dinner. What are you making? What do you need to buy? What ingredients do you need to buy? You are making a list. Your kids' Christmas party, what are you getting? What do you need to buy, or what are you making? What you are making a list, because with a list, it's a lot easier for you to go through and tick off what you've already done or focus on one thing at a time, thereby eliminating all this decision fatigue that will very likely happen over the next 2 months. And once there's decision fatigue, higher chances of overspending. But with a list, you can focus on what you need to do and get only what you need to get, spend only what you need to spend. And with this list, you do not leave the house. You are never to shop without a list, because when you shop without a list, hello, impulse spending. Hello, buying what we don't need, right? From gifts to the menu for the house, to the menu for Thanksgiving. And yes, when I say menu for the house, I'm not just talking about Thanksgiving dinner. for the next 2 months, grocery list, it's all in there. Stuff you need to buy for the house. You were not to go into a store without a list. You go into a store without a list, oh, they will tell you what to buy. You think the Christmas music playing is just random? That's my own conspiracy theory. You were not to go into a store without a list because you will overspend, period. Everyone is trying to get you to part with your money. The stores online is the last 2 months of the year. They're really trying to get your money, right? So this mind hack, this mind trick is really going to help you stay within your budget, regardless of all that temptation. When you see anything that you want to get for yourself, you're not on the list, right? This is just, ooh, that looks amazing. That will look good on me. This will look good in the house. Ooh, this is new. This is, let me get this. Keep in mind, remember, it's going to be 50% off in a couple weeks, And if you wait long enough, because some of these stores are getting too smart, it would be about 6 weeks and it will be 75% off. But at least in 4 weeks, it would be 50% off. Hold on. It doesn't make sense to buy you full price now when in a month, in 4 weeks, you can get it 50% off. And if you're worried, oh, they'll run out and I don't want them to run out, I really, really want it, then two things. One, do you really want to be the one paying full price when Lovett will go in there in a couple weeks and get it half price? And two, it will come back next year. And even if it doesn't come back, last year you didn't know of this. And now it's here. So that means next year there'll be another nice thing, you can buy it then. The fact alone that is going to be 50% off in a few weeks, that works for me. I would have to really, 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 really need this thing, the Christmas wreath, this children, but we're not. That's a different story. It would have to be really important for me to buy it now, full price, knowing it's going to be 50% in just a few weeks. That is a great Jedi mind trick. It's a good mind hack to keep you within the guardrails. A lot of my saving hacks also works over the holidays, so check those out if you haven't. If you've already seen those, then I will see you in the next video. Bye.